Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Svetlana, who is my beautiful co-host from San Diego. And we're going to start our usual program on Monday here and Be Heard. We're talking about thyroid health, how we can take care of our health using a holistic approach. Svetlana is Integrative Nutrition Health Coach and Certified Thyroid Health Coach. She works with people with thyroid disorder who would like to attract their ideal weight, more energy, and more joy in their life. Good morning.
Good morning, Rita. Thank you for the introduction. Good morning, everyone, and thank you guys for being here this morning. Let me introduce Rita to you, my wonderful co-host, who is out of Wheeling, Illinois. She's a certified holistic health coach and graduate of Institute for Integrative Nutrition, a member of American Association of Drugless Practitioners, certified Reiki practitioner. She's also co-founder of Sungates Wellness Center right there in Wheeling, and a guide to Spiritual Hospital of John of God in Abadiânia, Brazil.
Thank you. Beautiful. And today we're talking about cortisol, adrenal fatigue, and how it affects different ways of life, and especially, of course, why it affects the thyroid and hormonal disorder, and how we can take care of it, how we can help ourselves to be in balance.
Yes, we're continuing our conversation about hormones, and cortisol is a huge one, and it has to do with our stress. You know, how we manage our stress and how we let the stress affect our life. And cortisol, as a hormone, is quite important. It is produced by adrenal glands. Those are two little glands that sit on the top of each of our kidneys. And those glands may be little, but they play a huge role. They actually keep us alive, if you think about it.
Yeah.
They are responsible for things like increasing your blood pressure, maintaining your blood sugar levels, keeping them stable, and modulating inflammation. To give you an example of what it actually does in real life is if imagine our ancestors living in the wild, right? They were not always protected, and there were creatures sometimes roaming around, like, a tiger, for example. And so cortisol allowed our ancestors to flee or fight, fight or flight response. So they increased the blood pressure, they gave the muscle tone, the energy, and allowed our ancestors to save themselves, to run away from those creatures. And we still use this response in our current times. We don't have real dangers like that, like tigers and other wild animals, but we have a lot of perceived dangers. Things that we think about that are dangerous, but might not necessarily be dangerous in reality. However, our body cannot distinguish between perceived or real danger. So whether we're being chased by tigers or lions, or whether we're stressing over where our next rent comes from, or whether our spouse is going to leave us, it's all the same for our body. Our body perceives it as a threat, and physiology changes in response to that.
Do you think sometimes it can be just in our mind, and in reality there is nothing going on that can scare, or we can feel fear?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it happens all the time. I mean, if you think about it, at least in our society, in the developed industrialized world, we're living in a pretty safe environment. Most of us, not everyone, of course. There is no real dangers like, death, or, inability to get food. For the most part, of course, there are still some, unfortunately, circumstances where people do deal with those situations. But yeah, most of the time it's in our mind. We think about things and we stress over things, and I'm not exempt from that either. I'm not perfect.
Well, me neither. We thinking and thinking and thinking. We overthinking.
Yeah.
So the ideal will be to stop that process, at least for once in a while, if possible.
Yes, we will talk about how to do
Of
that.
course.
But what are the dangers of continually having the stress bombard us, our mind, right? What happens?
Okay.
So eventually, what could happen in our body is we could create an imbalance, a hormonal imbalance, a cortisol imbalance, or adrenal fatigue, as some practitioners call it. And how would you know if you have something like that? So you would look for symptoms, right? So for example, are you craving lots of salty foods? Is your blood pressure and your blood sugar out of balance? Are you an evening type of person? Do you get a second wind at night and you can stay and like push through until early hours in the morning? Or maybe even you wake up in the middle of the night and you don't know why, and it just happens consistently. You feel tired but wired. You might have very frequent infections and colds and flus. Adrenal fatigue also can speed up aging, so you might experience sagging skin or weaker, droopy muscle tone. So things like that, as to watch out for. However, this is not irreversible, so good news here.
Yeah.
Don't get alarmed. There's quite a few things we can do here.
Very good. I just remember the Saturday episode we were at Body Mind Spirit Expo, where were lots of practitioners and so many people, which is great because more and more people really believe in holistic approach to health, and they're looking for it. They're looking inside, they're looking outside for help, but not exactly always in a doctor's office, but everywhere else. So I've met a mother and a girl. Girl was about 15 years old, I would say, maybe even less. And her mother said that her body doesn't produce cortisol at all.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't have all the details. We didn't really have time to discuss it. She just used the crystal bath for healing. Her mother asked for it.
Yeah.
And even though she was there just at 20 minutes, the amount of energy was kind of overwhelming for her. So basically, it looks like she is really deficient in energy, and it's really hard. I believe that she's on medications, but she looks like it's a beautiful girl, but something really going on.
So it's really affecting her, like energy-wise.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a huge one. It does affect your energy levels for sure. Like you might be waking up tired in the morning, right?
Right.
For example. What's interesting is, some of these symptoms also resemble thyroid imbalance symptoms. So you might be thinking, well, which one is it, right? And it's possible. It's so very possible to have both, and it's very common.
Because it's all connected.
Exactly.
And sometimes maybe if we take care of cortisol, the hormonal thyroid hormone will get into balance by itself.
Very possible.
There is not much to do. But yeah. So there are...
I do want to mention also that our cortisol may become out of balance not just because of the psychological stress. It could be that, of course, it could be ongoing psychological stress or like a one big trauma, psychological trauma. But it also could be because of physiological stress, like an illness, or even because of foods that we're eating that are not supportive of our health, like foods we're intolerant to. So it could be either or. Yeah.
So basically, I think every person should kind of see and watch and listen to their body and their feelings. And there are moments that we should take care of our emotions or physical work or whatever we do every day. Just be on guard. Of course, to have fun, but it's just important to really to listen to your body. Don't overlook those symptoms.
Yes. It's
So
very easy to push through if you're the kind of person who like type A personality and you're a go-getter and you thrive on doing things and getting things done. And then so easy to neglect things start happening in your body. It's so easy to just like, oh, it will be okay, it will go away. Especially for us women, right?
right.
We're caretakers.
Yes, and men and women are so different in the way they are handling stress. Like, for example, when men, well, I'm not trying to generalize, of course, every man is different, every woman is different. But for the most part, I think when man comes home from work, what they want to do. Uh, some of them just want to get a glass of wine, sit in front of the TV, and just let him be alone.
Yes.
But women, they want to share. They want to share what happened. If the man is not listening, she doesn't have anybody to talk to. And of course, that when we're talking about couples. But if they're single women or men, they don't have a pair of ears to talk to. So that also create stress, some kind of stress. So I guess what is also important to remember, talking about food, not to get into dinner or something when we are overstressed at work and we come home and we are hungry and we sit down and eat right away, if possible. Just take some time to relax and then start the dinner in very relaxing form, even saying prayers before that and just breathing. And it's really nice to have a family dinner when everybody is back from work or school. Uh, it's just a valuable time for entire family.
Absolutely, yes.
Right. Very good. So there are other ways to take care of stress hormone, cortisol. One of those is meditation, and I can really show it right now. Very short one, just 1 minute. And since we always need energy, we even need energy to sleep. We can do it before we go to bed, or we can take breaks during the day at work, anywhere, and it's just 1 minute. We breathe through our belly and through our nose for 30 counts, and then for 30 counts, we just sit quietly in a quiet space, closing our eyes. So I'll count, and we're gonna breathe in through the nose and out through the nose, expanding our belly and contracting our belly when we breathe out. If somebody will feel a headache or slight easiness in the head, we can stop and count to 20 for the first few times, and then gradually increase the number of breathings, because we get oxygen into our brain, and that's why we can feel lightheaded. So let's start it. Okay, beautiful. And we're gonna sit quietly for 30 seconds. It's only 30 seconds. Have a minute. All right.
That was beautiful. Thank you. I always get such a rush of energy when I do this exercise. It's a little bit of like of a little mini high in a way.
Mm-hmm. You know, many people, and actually me including, I feel I'm losing energy when I am on Skype or on the phone. So I really feel that I need to do this exercise before I start the conversation, or either even our program, radio program. Just 1 minute will give me energy to go through and doesn't feel exhausted or overall. I guess technology may uh, get our energy.
That makes sense. But
Did
that's a
you?
great idea to go into something with a little bit of a boost.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to say though, like, if you're pregnant like me, be careful just sitting down when you're doing that, because sometimes it's you can get dizzy if you're not used to this kind of thing. So make sure you're sitting down.
Yes, exactly, exactly. That's a good idea for everybody to to do it sitting down.
All right.
Yes. What else on your mind for today?
Well, there's quite a few things that I teach my clients to bring their body back to balance and bring their adrenals back to balance. So those include food and lifestyle changes, like Rita was describing. So other things you can implement are supplements, and those can be temporary until you get back into balance. So things like vitamin C. One of my favorite herbs is ashwagandha, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And you can take it in a capsule form. You can even drink it as a tea. There are other supplements out there. However, I wouldn't take just about anything that says to give, that says for energy, because you might be getting something that's overstimulating and maybe counterproductive in the end. Also, it really depends what stage of adrenal fatigue you're in. There are different stages of adrenal fatigue, so you would want to match the particular supplement to the stage of adrenal imbalance that you're in. And you can test. We talked about it last time. You can test for adrenal fatigue via blood or saliva or urine actually. Other things like foods, for example, I mentioned foods. Finding if there are any foods you might be intolerant to. Like I was intolerant to when I tested. I was intolerant to a bunch of things. Some common things, but some also very strange things. So common things were gluten and dairy, and some strange things were like basil and chocolate. Sadly,
Really?
yes,
Wow.
yes, yes. I'm
But
okay now.
sometimes, for some people, chocolate might be the release of the stress, and I
Yeah, so
think the piece of dark chocolate is really good medicine for some.
for some, right? So it's all very bio-individual. So you can test, you can either do an elimination diet, which is something that I will offer in my practice, or you can do a blood test. But I want you to know blood tests are not 100% accurate. So, so those are two options as far as finding out what you might be sensitive to. And then if you do find out there are some foods you're sensitive to, you can eliminate them for a period of time. And that doesn't mean forever. You can later introduce them back and see how your body reacts.
Yeah, and we talked about gluten our previous programs. I guess most of the people here in States are intolerant to gluten, even though we
Right.
want, yeah.
Yeah, there are recent studies backing up that we all react to it, even if we don't feel it right away. Eventually, it can catch up.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Anything else?
Yeah, I really like this application that I used for a while, but since I lost changed the phone, I didn't download it again. And it's called iPhone GPS for Soul. And there is a version for Android and for iPhone. When we measure something, it's really giving us an option to slow down the thing that we measure. Or again, when we're watching something, it's getting better just by our watch. At the same time, it's the same thing as the energy goes where our mind goes. So I think it's really, really correlated. When we measure, it's getting better. So this application, when you feel that you are started to wear yourself up, or you have a conversation with someone which is not pleasant, there is a way to look at your phone and not necessarily text someone, but look at this application and see where you are, where is your stress level, and it's really getting you away from this thoughts or conversation or something that going on that giving you stress. And the heart rate is going down, and probably sugar level also will normalize.
And you don't need any extra gadgets, right? All you need is a phone.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's only iPhone or Android, the smartphone.
Great. I can't wait to try it.
Yeah, yes, me too. Actually, it just so many things that you keep forgetting.
Yes.
We are all humans.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what else? Other things I can think about are yoga.
Very
And
good.
specific poses that soothe our adrenals, like inversion pose and shavasana. Right. So those are wonderful. Speaking of exercise, though, it's very interesting is that one of the side effects, unfortunate side effects of adrenal fatigue is stubborn weight gain, specifically around the middle. So people might be starting to gain weight and they might not know why that is, because they might be exercising, they might be eating well, but everything else is going well in terms of their health care routine, but they don't know what it is. And many times it could be adrenal fatigue if it's not the other things. So what do? They increase their intensity of exercise. But that can be actually counterproductive, because what that does to our body is puts even more stress. And then more stress and more stress. So there's actually a certain way of exercising that is supportive of rebalancing adrenal fatigue. Obviously, as you probably guessed, it has to be something non-super strenuous. You cannot be doing any kind of sprints or marathons. Very counterproductive. You want to take at least a few days out of the week to rest, and you can do walking or gentle yoga during those days. If you do any kind of intense exercise, you want to do it for no more than 20 minutes, because after 20 minutes, our body starts increasing cortisol production. So, keep those tips in mind. So you want to be gentle with yourself if you are experiencing adrenal fatigue.
Very interesting. Thank you. That's really good to know, because I have a new client, and it's not a woman, it's a man, and very young age. And looks like he has a thyroid problem, a disbalance, and I'm sure from listening from his story, I'm sure that the root cause, the problem for his thyroid disorder is stress. huge stress that he experienced a couple years ago, and he didn't even know he's getting thyroid problem. But then he took a test, and looks like there it is. His TSH is very high. So, and the thing is that he likes to exercise, and he's working out like crazy, and because he wants to lose weight, and this is something that he's trying to do more and more. So, and he asked me one question: if you allow me to work out, I'll do everything else. His body, I guess, addicted to it now.
Yeah, I believe that it is possible to get addicted to working out. It does feel good, right? In the end, it does feel good emotionally because it releases endorphins. However, if you find yourself tired after working out as opposed to energized, that's a big clue that it might be actually hurting you more than helping.
Exactly. That's a good question to ask. Thank you. Yes, and for us women, I guess one of the things to give us pleasure is shopping. Of course, we don't want to overspend, but sometimes it's a nice thing to do, to go shopping or meet with our girlfriends and just have a fun time and laugh. It's so different than when we meet with men, or we have dates, or we live and talk, and we have a connection with our husbands or partners. Girlfriends are such a different story. Right?
Absolutely. And it's even research supported.
Yes.
Having a circle of women, of close women, actually balances out our cortisol.
Right.
So
love it. Love it. I'm ready.
You're ready. I know. I'm thinking about it too now. Okay, I'm planning my shopping.
And some ladies are in love with shoes. I just recently saw, I don't remember where, maybe Facebook, the picture with a girl meditating while by her shoes, and there are like lines of shoes she put on. Maybe it was a shoe store, I don't know, but she was in meditating pose. And I guess shoes for many women are something that brings pleasure and calmness and fun at the same time. So that's also possible. Just of course we have to be in balance in that too, not to overbuy shoes.
Right.
Yeah, and another thing is to keep on a speed dial someone who can hear you out, who can speak to you and not to give you tasks or commands or give you a hard time, but some friend or anybody who can really listen and be supportive.
Yes. Right. Very, very important.
Yeah. So I guess we gonna continue next time. The time for our conversation today is over. Thank you everybody who listened, and you can always find Svetlana on her website, healthbeat.com, myhealthbeat.com. And if you're around Chicago, around Wheeling, you can always stop by Wellness Center. We are located on Dundee in Milwaukee, in Wheeling. And one of the things that we keep here that help with lower cortisol or stress, remove the stress from our life, is our crystal bath from Brazil, from John of God. And there are always meditation classes and other things that going on regular basis. So you're welcome to check our website, sungatescenter.com. Send us questions, connect to us, and if you need guidance and support around coaching and around especially thyroid Hashimoto, Svetlana is the first one to answer. She is a perfect and a great guide to to get you through with a huge support.
Absolutely. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for listening in, and I look forward to seeing you in a
Next
week.
Monday,
Next Monday. Take
same
care.
time, same place. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Take care.